Hi friends, welcome to the channel Incredible Indian History. Here we comes with the fascinating stories of Indian history without any dilution. Today we can go through the lives of 5 great queens of India. Before going to the video, friends who haven't subscribed our channel till now, please subscribe and enable the bell icon beside it. Straight to video. Which is the face that comes to your mind when you hear the word powerful queen? Yes, it's Jhansi Rani Lakshmi Bai, who is a role model for not only women but also for the whole mankind. Jhansi Rani was born on 1828 November 19 as Manikarnika in the Kashi Benares dynasty. Education was at home for Rani, but it was not mere through textbooks but also included with dissection and horse riding. She was married to Gangadhar Rao Navalkar, who was the king of Jhansi. From the marriage onwards, she came to be known as Lakshmi Bai. Her child was died after 4 months of birth. They adopted another child. During that time, king was died. After the death of the king, the British tried to annex the kingdom of Jhansi using the principle of doctrine of lapse. After knowing that, Rani replied, "Main apna Jhansi nahi dungi. I won't give my Jhansi." By that time, British annexed many kingdoms such as Nagpur, Satar, Awadh using this principle. Jhansi Rani was offered with Rs 60,000 per year by the British for leaving the fort. But she was not ready to accept that. On 1858 March 23, army led by the British official Hugh Gross surrounded the fort. Jhansi Rani showed the courage to fight with British, but Rani had to leave the fort as the British had a huge army with modern weapons. Later she made alliance with some princely states and she made irrecoverable losses to the British through war. But on June 17, 1858, at the age of 29, her soul left the battlefield. Up to this, you heard the tales which prevails all over our nation. But we are now going to hear the tales which are not often heard. Next personality, Rani Velu Nachiyar. She ruled the state of Shivaganga from 1780 to 1790 and was known as Veeramanga. She was the first queen to protest and beat British in a war. She also retained her nation up to her death due to natural cause. She was born as the only child to her father on 1730 January 3rd in Ramanathapuram of Tamil Nadu. She became expert in dissection, horse riding and shooting, and had great knowledge in languages like French, English and Urdu. When her husband was killed by British, the Rani escaped with her daughter. Later she made her own army and made alliance with Mysore King Hyder Ali and fought against British. And she arranged a successful suicide attack to the British Armory building and returned her kingdom. Then she ruled for almost 10 years. On 26 December 1796, that Veeramanga left to heaven from the world. Next we are moving to the stories of a queen who is considered as the first woman freedom fighter of India, Rani Abaka Chowda. She fought over 40 years against the Portuguese who tried to annex Ulu, which is the capital of Tulunadu, her kingdom. She was named as Abhay Rani, the fearless queen, because of her fearless approach to the Portuguese. But sad news, many details including the birth date is not accessible. Like the other two queens, Rani Abaka Chowda was also a good warrior and an intellectual. She was married to a king of Bengal dynasty, but after marriage she refused to live in husband's palace because of objection to some of the policies of the king. The king, because of this revenge to queen, made alliance with Portuguese to fight against the queen. The queen won wars against British in 1555 and 1568. She was a good ruler not only on the base of war but also on base of homely affairs and diplomatic affairs. She made alliances with many other kingdoms. She made a naval force by her own and built up Malali Dam under her leadership. Another war was held on 1570. Now the Portuguese got help from the queen's husband, but the queen again won. But on the way she returned, Portuguese attacked her by secluding in the way. She was arrested and put in jail, but she was not ready to consign. She protested in jail and died in jail. More details of her death is not available. Next to the lives of two queens of Travancore. Before that, what is the specialty of Travancore? Travancore was one of the few kingdoms which the British never even thought about annexing because of the Travancore's power. We are not going to discuss about the war talents of the queens but their talents in homely affairs and ruling. First, Maharani Ayilyam Tirunal Gauri Lakshmi Bai. She was born on 1791 and reigned Travancore from 1810 to 1813. At the age of 19, she became the queen and she first decided to abolish corruption. To end the corruption, the Proverticans, that is village officers, Karikas, taluk officers, and district officials were all deprived of their judicial powers, and instead a court of appeal and 5 district courts was established, and a modern judicial system was introduced in Travancore. For the trial of government officials, another court known as Husur was established. The police force was reorganized during her reign. Taxes on festivals and tax on inheritance were abolished. Devasam board was introduced to clear corruption and mismanagement. Lower castes were given independence from lords. A vaccination department was introduced in 1813, and the queen first took vaccination herself to reassure her people about vaccination. Secretary system was also introduced. She left many plans halfway and passed away at the age of 24 on 1815. Maharani Utrata Tirunal Gauri Parvati Bhai succeeded her sister Maharani Gauri Lakshmi Bhai from 1815 at the age of 13 till her regency was relinquished in favor of her nephew Maharaja Swati Tirunal in 1829. She was born on 1802. She was a ruler who believed that education is the factor which could uplift the standard of livelihood of society. So soon after coming to rule, she issued a royal rescript in 1817 on universal education. Consider the fact that the universal education was not practiced in most countries, including those in the West, at the point of time. Then she freed Christian riots from attending public work on Sunday with regard to their religious custom. Restrictions put on some of the lower castes of Travancore regarding the wearing of ornaments of gold and silver were removed, and they were permitted to adorn themselves as they pleased. Among the higher castes, for the use of gold ornaments, special licenses were to be obtained after paying Adiyarapanam. This was a tax, and that was abolished. The Maharani passed a proclamation allowing everyone in a kingdom to tile the roofs of their houses. This was important in context of Kerala. Seeing that time, powerful king like Samudri did not even permit their vassal kings such as Raja of Cochin to tile their roofs of their palace. Restriction in terms of usage of certain types of houses were removed. For example, Nalugat, Ettigat, etc. were only built by higher castes by paying high taxes. This was abolished. Coffee cultivation was introduced. The Maharani permitted Christian missionary to enterprise in Travancore and even donated lands for the construction of churches in her state. In 1818, under her regency, Travancore entered into a trade treaty with Ceylon. The Maharani relieved the females of her country from their religious obligations of bearing torches during state processions in 1823. This relief to womenfolk was 20 years before Lord Ashley passed an act in England relieving women of their country from certain oppression and degenerating obligations. The vaccination program started by her sister was extensively expanded during Gauri Parvati Bai's reign. In 1853, as the great ruler left to heaven after showing the best reforms which one could do. That's all for today. If you enjoyed the video, like, share and subscribe and give your suggestions through the comment box. We'll be back with an interesting story of a ruler who beat the invader Akbar 3 times and won 51 battles throughout our life. So thank you friends.